this is Manindrabu from Batam. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
I'm Sela Sadakau from Vatukola. I only listen to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold Naka, I'm Vale and I'm working at Golden Grove Resort, and I love listening to Gold FM because it plays a really wide range of classic music.
I'm Saini Sakio from Kashmir Wotoka. I like Gold FM, but only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Good evening, I'm Amrita Priyadarshini. This is FBC News. Tonight, Northern Division encouraged by government focus in the new budget. Nasinu residents promised better policing services. A new Sadalpa leader to refocus on inclusivity in the lead-up to 2018 elections. The Northern Development Program has been allocated $1.5 million in the 2016-2017 national budget. NDP is a government-funded program that provides equity assistance through grants to enterprises to improve the livelihoods of the people of Vanua Levu. Eleanor Turangaivu with the details.
Since its inception in 2008, the Northern Development Program has helped over 2,000 small business owners in Vanua Levu. Manager Waiseletu Indama is excited government has recognized the program and set aside $1.5 million for the new financial year.
The investment that NDP and the banks have invested in these 2,000 projects is around $15.7 million. So in the last 8 years, we are pleased to say that $15.7 million has been spent on resource-based projects, mostly in rural areas.
About 50% of the funded projects deal with the fishing business. Tundama says next year they will focus on agriculture-based projects.
We want to develop farmers with leases to cultivate their land. What we want to do is focus on livestock, because we are importing a lot of beef, a lot of lamb, and these are areas that we want to focus on to cut down on the imports, and also rice.
With an 84% success rate in its projects, the NDP has an effective monitoring system. Tuindama says while they would have loved to have a bigger allocation in the budget, the 1.5 million is more than enough.
1 million will go directly for the grant. As you know, another component of the program is business training and technical training. That is included in that, and also staff salaries, the operations of the office, motor vehicle fuel. So 1.5 million is enough for us to manage for 1 year.
Apart from increasing the volume and value of trade, raising the level of investment and economic production and generating employment, the Northern Development Project also provides business and technical training to help businesses improve further. Eleanor Turangaivu, FBC News.
A better equipped and bigger police station has become a want in the densely populated area between the Suva-Nosori corridor. Residents of Vale Levu and Nakasi have welcomed the budgetary allocation to build police stations in their respective areas. Tokasa Rainima reports.
With increasing population and new businesses cropping up between Vale Levu to Nakasi, a need for improved police presence is necessary. This has been catered for in the new budget, a news welcomed by many.
Well, I think it's good for people around here getting better services.
It's a very big community, and people living around here have to be alert for the people who make like criminals thing.
Yeah, it's goodness for us, near our house, near our place. We are happy.
I think it will be a great advantage to the people of Nakasi and the Wilevu, Winimbuku, the greater 9 miles area.
Past 26 years I've been walking up and down in this area, and I have noticed that most of the time when the reports are coming to this station and the transport is not there, and also some of the times we have come across the most difficult one is the officers are not enough.
Yes, surely a bigger police station, more office space for the staff to look after all the policing issues from traffic to criminal investigations, sexual offences unit, and all the units that we will have will be there. Cells for the holding capability for a good number of people to reflect the population in those areas.
$0.9 million has been allocated for the Nakasi police station, while $1 million has been given for civil works for construction of the new Lautoka police station.
Those police stations will be really model tier 1 stations for the high-end police stations that look after the most densely populated areas. And we're looking at that infrastructure to be mirrored across where we will probably have 6 to 7 tier 1 stations in the most densely populated areas.
Brigadier General Gilio says the force is going through a restructure whereby they are looking at all the police stations and police posts to identify their needs for more resources. Tokas Rainima, FBC News.
Newly elected Social Democratic Liberal Party leader Sitiveni Rambuka says he will make the party more inclusive of all ethnicities. The former Songasonga Vakavulewa Nitoke leader was elected at the Sodelpa management meeting in Suva yesterday. Tokasa Renima reports.
Sodelpa leader Sitiveni Rambuka says he will work according to the party's constitution, which clearly states they must be inclusive of other ethnicities.
While it focuses on the interests of the indigenous people, it is mindful of the interests of the other races, knowing that they coexist, and the well-being and the welfare of one transcends the race barrier and impact on the other also.
Rambuka, who has been out of politics for some time, now says he will do things differently, gearing up to the next general elections in 2018.
In my own personal interaction with the other races, I've already been talking to them, just as an ordinary citizen. We come to agreement that this is the way forward for Fiji. The way I thought was the only way, and there was no other way, perhaps not the way. Now we have come through that. We've learned through what was done in that era of our political development, our democratic metamorphosis. Now is the time that we take the bull by the horns and go forward together.
Rambuka says he intends to meet with the leaders in government, police and the RFMF. He also plans to meet other political parties in the country. Tokas Rainima, FBC News.
Fiji continues to face challenges on mental health issues. Minister for Health and Medical Services, Johnny Usamate, says mental health awareness programs need to be integrated at community level instead of relying on hospital services. Kelly Vidala has the details.
Speaking to the general practitioners at the annual conference in Suva, Health and Medical Services Minister Johnny Usamate says concrete steps needs to be taken to address mental health problems around the country.
The Ministry of Health continues to face challenges in how we address mental health. For a long time, mental health has been something that have not really been given a lot of attention. Mental health is something that's hugely underreported in this country. It's not fully understood that there must be more mental health education and awareness for all sectors of the population.
Highlighting on the theme of the conference, the integration of mental and occupational health in primary care, Usamate says collective approach is needed by all to achieve this.
To provide a comprehensive, integrated, so it's all integrated and responsive mental health and social care services in community-based settings. I think that's very important. To take it out so it's not something that just takes place at St. Giles, but actually integrated into the community so that they can have a larger impact on people.
Usamate says there is also a shortage of occupational health experts, and people are unable to differentiate between occupational health and occupational safety.
I think the issue of occupational health, you can correct me, is not well understood and most often is seen as identical with occupational safety. I think there's a subtle, distinct difference there, and it is something that needs to be addressed.
Fiji has achieved 2 of the World Health Organization's global targets in relation to mental health. one of which is to update its policies and plans and the successful implementation of the mental health decree. Kelly Vathala, FBC News.
Meanwhile, President Major General Chiochi Conrote says general practitioners should be at the forefront of mental health illness fight. He says recognizing this and incorporating mental health into the primary care setting is an important first step in addressing the issue. Speaking at the General Practitioners Awards night, the President said the medical fraternity needs to educate itself more in the field of mental health.
Unfortunately, mental health issues are often not given the recognition that they deserve and require, perhaps due to ignorance, prejudice, or other reasons. It is therefore extremely important that we highlight this at every opportunity so that these issues are discussed and addressed in all our homes and communities.
Now, police are urging the public to not speculate about the discovery of a decomposed body at Natandola Beach in Singatoka yesterday. The body was found by a 59-year-old security guard and Chief of Intelligence and Investigations, ACP Luke Navella, says investigations are in the early stages. The discovery has been linked to a Russian couple who've been missing for over a week and whose vehicle was found abandoned in the same area. ACP Navella says it is premature to link yesterday's discovery to the missing couple. Coming up on FBC News, expansion of Matai Airport to improve the economy of Taveuni. And National Archive of Fiji launches revamped website. Stay with us.
FM rocks. My name is Denasa and I'm from Lutoka and I love listening to Today FM.
My name is Ulamila. I work at Golden Point Resort. I love listening to Today FM. It rocks in Raki Raki.
I'm Mary from Nandera. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks. We love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
Welcome back here with FBC News. Now, 5 people were arrested last night for drunk driving. The men are in custody and will be produced in court on Monday. Director Traffic SSP Mahesh Mishra says drunk driving continues to be a concern despite repeated pleas. Mishra says the long weekend traffic operations continue with radar operations, coverage of black spots, breathalyzer operations and snap checkpoints. A $36 million allocation in the new budget will mean more marketing by Tourism Fiji, and Jackie Spate tells us more.
Tourism Minister Fayaz Koya has welcomed the increase.
I'm smiling, aren't I? I have whatever was on our wish list we got. I think some of the most important things that we asked for, in fact, just about everything we asked for we got. Briefly, tourism got a little bit more, obviously because we need to market a little bit more.
In addition to the good news, Minister for Finance Ayaz Said Qayyum also announced the elimination of the departure tax for visitors who are in the country less than 72 hours. Quick to praise the news was President of the Fiji Hotel and Tourism Association, Dixon Sito.
It's similar to Singapore. If you do a transit there, they really look after you because they want you to sample what the destination has to offer, and this will, apart from them spending 2 or 3 days here and spending money, which is again foreign exchange, it is like a prelude to what a long-term holiday was.
This new budget increases the tourism's allocation by $4 million, which will further boost marketing plans for growth areas targeted by the industry.
Air services in Taveuni, the Garden Island of Fiji, will improve with the extension of the Matai Airport runway. The government has allocated $150,000 for this, and Airports Fiji Limited Executive Chair Faiz Khan has welcomed the allocation.
So the government wants us to extend Matai runway to about 1,200 meters, and that will allow us to land ATR 42s in Matai, and of course, that will help the local economy in Taveuni. And the local tourism industry in Taveuni as well.
The government is also exploring the possibility of a new airport in Senganga. Ministry of Agriculture will focus on 2 key areas in the new financial year. With a budget of $74.4 million, Minister Inia Suriratu says the ministry will now work towards rehabilitation. The allocation is comprised of a $30.6 million operating budget, $40.6 million for capital expenditure, and a VAT of $3.2 million.
Although there are two key areas that as I've stated, but we see reconstruction as a development activity as well. So we are going to look at both on equal terms.
There are also allocations for crop rehabilitation, which includes Yangona and Dalo. The Sri Sanatan Dharam Pratinidhi Sabha of Fiji says it is fully behind the government's efforts to unite all Fijians. Sabha President Sarju Prasad says it wants to be the catalyst for government strategies. Prime Minister Varange Bainimarama was the chief guest at the Sabha's three-day convention in Thuvu, Singatoka. Bainimarama urged members of the Sabha to make use of government's plans in 2017 as delivered in the national budget.
Government has a constitution that has brought about equal citizenry for all the people in this country, and we will try and build on that as much as we can. Sanatan Dharam wants to play a foremost role as a catalyst to bring love between organizations, harmony between organizations, and understanding between organizations, so that we can have Fiji back to what used to be the paradise of the Pacific.
The convention ends tomorrow. People with keen interest in Fiji's history can now easily access the old documents and pictures through the National Archives of Fiji's revamped website. Director of National Archives, Opeta Alefau, says the archival service in Fiji has been made accessible to a wide range of people. Kelly Vidala reports.
As custodians of Fiji's important historical documentary heritage, the National Archives will now be able to provide all sorts of communication through its revamped online portal.
We've increased our outreach to communities by 500%. So we've increased our boots on the ground, so to speak. We've gone out, we've taken heritage materials to isolated rural communities so that they have access to their archives. But we're also trying to increase accessibility digitally. So with our new website, the hope is that it's pleasant and accessible and is able to help us communicate with the people so that they can come in and make use of what's theirs.
Opeta Alefau says people can come and explore Fiji's history through preserved books and materials at any time.
Learn about our history of our country and learn more about our ancestors.
I like the books, and the pictures, and the history.
Want to know more about your family history, land records, and anything in general, and especially to the students.
The National Archives of Fiji was established in 1954. It is a treasure trove of information for Fiji and its people. Now, with the launch of their new website, people can learn more about their history or background. Kelly Vathala, FBC News.
Coming up in sports, Makee to turn focus on Europe tour. And Rewa dominates Southern Zone meet.
आपको खरगंगा की रंजिला का नमस्कार। रेडियो फिजी की सुंदर सुंदर यादों का खजाना एकदम बचपन के दिन याद करा देते हैं।
हमारा नाम जोनी नायडू है, हम रहता है मलोलो में और हम टैक्सी ड्राइवर है। हम सब टाइम अपन टैक्सी में रेडियो फिजी 2 सुनता प्रोग्राम।
हम सिंगाटोका के हैं, हमारा नाम है रोजी। हम लोग यहाँ पे रेडियो फिजी 2 सुनता है।
राम राम, मैं रेमस प्रसाद बोलता हूँ, तब वहाँ में कोई रहता हूँ। मैं जब भी सुना रेडियो फिजी 2 ही सुनता हूँ।
रेडियो फिजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
Welcome to FBC Sports. Vodafone Flying Fijians coach John Makee has turned his focus on the November Europe tour. Vashnil Prasad reports Makee will search for talented players while keeping tabs on the current team.
The loss against Georgia yesterday has already become a thing of the past for the Vodafone Flying Fijians coach John Makee. His focus has now shifted on the Europe tour, where the team will face the Barbarians, England and Japan.
Another very important tour for us. It's really, as we're always trying to achieve with the Flying Fijians, we want to build from assembly to assembly, and we want our game to get better and better and better.
The 14-3 loss against 12th ranked Georgia came as a shock. and Maki says he'll relook at the players that will be selected for the November tour.
You know, tracking our players will give our players from here as they go back to their clubs some targets around fitness and skill areas they need to work on. You know, we'll be looking at other players who weren't here in June that you know were involved in the final series in France.
11 new caps were introduced in the Flying Fijians team for the June Test series.
As always, you know, we select on form. It's not on names; it's on form. So we'll pick the best players for November based on how they're playing and their fitness and injury levels.
National team now needs to prove all odds wrong, beat Tier 1 teams and become strong contenders of Oceania in the 2019 World Cup. Pashnil Prasad, FBC Sports.
Nandi remains unbeaten in the Skipper Cup after a 17-all draw against Namosi today. Both teams scored a try each and were locked 3-all in the first half. Northland created the major upset in round 7, beating Nathan Siri by 23-22. Defending champions Nandronga thumped Tailevu 55-7. Now newcomers Malolo also thumped Lautoka 54-3 at Lawanga Park. Silver leads the Skipper Cup table after round 7. The Vodafone Fiji Sevens team had a tough day at the Singatoka Sand Dunes today. This was the second training run for the players and was closed to the media. Fiji Sevens coach Ben Ryan says the grueling 2 weeks of training has helped strengthen the bonds within the team.
I'm beginning to see that really well. They're bonding well. I think through hard times on the field, they bond better. So, no, look, we've done all of this before as far as getting teams prepared for that high level of fitness. But these guys are obviously gelling very well at the moment.
Ryan names the 13-member squad for the Olympic Games on the 18th of next month. The Rewa football under-14 side will represent the Southern Zone in the Courts Inter-District Championships later in the year. Rewa qualified after claiming the zonal meet with 10 points, while Suva finished second with 8 points. The young Delta Tigers also took the under-12 division trophy, while Nasinu was the runners-up. Nabua won the under-10 division, while Tailevu came in second. These teams will also represent the Southern Zone in the Fiji Primary Championships at Ratu Zakambau Park in Nosori in 4 months' time. Meanwhile, the Vodafone Fiji football team takes on Malaysia at 2 p.m. tomorrow at Prince Charles Park in Nandi. You can catch the live commentaries of the match on Radio Fiji 2 with the voice of soccer, Raymond Stoddard. British and Irish football fans have never had it so good heading into the knockout stages of Euro 2016. England takes on Iceland and the Republic of Ireland faces host France. But the standout second-round clash is the game between Wales and Northern Ireland in Paris. It was generally fine weather throughout the country today. Suva and Savu once again had the lowest temperatures at 28 degrees. Nandi was on 29, Lautoka and Ba were on 31, and Lambasa once again topped at 32 degrees. We take a look at tomorrow. Fine, apart from isolated brief showers over the eastern parts and interior of the larger islands, it should be cool at night with moderate easterly winds, fresh at times. And Monday is expected to have fine weather. Recapping the main stories, more opportunities for people in Vanuatu through the Northern Development Plan. Fiji Police Force plans improvements in services in Nasinu thanks to new budget allocation. And new Sadalpa leader Sitiveni Rambuka says he will reach out to people of all backgrounds to join the party. Now for these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. We move on to our poll question. Should there be a film about the Fiji Sevens team? To answer, visit our FBC website. You can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via our Facebook page, FBC News. If you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us those news tips at FBC News or hashtag FBC News. You've been watching FBC News. I'm Amrita Priyadarshini. Good night.
Pula mana Fiji, nada ko plasio materi, ngon mai na nan bulo tabiuni, au satu ko nanti antu telita ina warongo ena Bula FM. Bula!
Bula FM number 2 en seri.